Ready? I had a brother by the name of Hugh, and he turned out to be a preacher and taught, and he preached for years and years and years. But when we was boys at home together, I was probably about 10 years old, and he was 14. And we had a field of oats out west of the house, and in that field of oats, there was a lot of milkweeds had grown up in it. And we had to go out there and cut those milkweeds out of there with a knife. And it was hot, and it wasn't a very pleasant job, and we wasn't too enthused about it. So Dad says, well, he says, I'll pay you for it. I'll pay you so much, 100. And, well, that sounded pretty good. And he says, I'll give you 10 cents, 100, if you cut the milkweeds out of there. So we got our knives out and went to cut milkweeds. And we'd get up, a certain amount, and then we'd work together, and we'd put the number that we cut together, and then we was going to divide the money. And so it got up to be around 500. And we worked a while, and I said, Hugh, are you sure that was 500, or was it just 400? Well, he says, I think it was 500. And well, I says, I don't know for sure. I thought it was 500. That it could have been only 4. So we argued which it was, either 4 or 500. And well, Hugh says we got to be honest, and he says we'll just start over. Well, I said, well, let's just call it 400, and go on from there. He says, is 400 right? Well, I says, I don't know. Well, Hugh says, listen, he says, you're lying about it if that ain't what it is. And he says, there's only one thing we can do, and that's start over again. Well, I said, let's call it 200. He said, is that right? No, I says, I know that ain't right. Well, then he says, you're lying. The only thing to do is to start that. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.